Philip Rucker is a national political correspondent for the Washington Post and joins me now from Washington, D.C. And Philip, you co-wrote a piece in the Washington Post about really the TikTok of the choice of Rex Tillerson. And it has the headline, Trump wasn't happy with his State Department finalists. Then he heard a new name. So what then?
That's right. Good morning, Josh. So a couple weeks ago, Donald Trump had been looking at Rudy Giuliani, Mitt Romney, and they were both seen as the leading contenders, but he just wasn't there yet. He wasn't happy with it. And in walked Bob Gates, Robert Gates. He's the former defense secretary for both George W. Bush and Barack Obama, really the highly regarded statesman, came in and said, look, you should consider Rex Tillerson. He's the CEO of ExxonMobil. Donald Trump didn't know a whole lot about Tillerson, but got to learn about him quickly, invited him in for a meeting at Trump Tower, and they hit it off. He saw in Tillerson a global deal maker, a negotiator, but he also liked his gravitas, felt like he could command a room and demand respect and presence around the world. And so they hit it off, and about a week later, here we are, and he's the nominee.
He supplanted Mitt Romney. It is believed, it is also believed Donald Trump had really liked the cut of Romney's jib, if you will. But you wrote in your piece that Trump had a request, according to a close Romney ally, an apology. And Romney, author of a book called No Apology, refused. When that refusal came, was that it?
You know, that's not the only thing that bothered Trump about the Romney case. Trump really liked Romney. They had a good conversation. He thought Romney would be a very fine Secretary of State, but there was so much political heat that he was going to take from picking Romney. Some of his own advisors, Kellyanne Conway, Newt Gingrich, were saying, no way, you can't pick Romney. He was out on the trail, and supporters would say, you can't pick Romney, that's a sign of disloyalty. And so I think Trump was bothered by that and just couldn't get over that hump, and Tillerson had Tillerson matched a lot of the qualities that Romney brought to the process, but didn't have that same kind of political baggage and opposition within the Trump circle.
But may bring different baggage here. Again, you mentioned Bob Gates whispers the name. Condoleezza Rice has come out and said, hey, I certainly agree with this choice as well. Former Secretary of State James Baker has also lauded this pick. But those three people all have something in common. They have all been on the ExxonMobil payroll. How much does that taint their recommendation?
A little bit. I mean, they're vouching for Rex Tillerson because they know him, but they know him because they've worked for his company. They've been paid by his company. They've been consultants for his company. So you have to take what they're saying with a grain of salt. However, it's noteworthy that they've come out to support him because these are not people who have said supportive things of Donald Trump in the past. They were not out there during the campaign. They actually haven't really said anything supportive of Trump since he became president. And so the fact that they're coming forward to back Tillerson means they think he's the right choice. But again, the members of the U.S. Senate, when they start to consider this nomination, are going to have to weigh that very carefully. And there are a lot of concerns on Capitol Hill right now about Tillerson's history with Russia and his ties with Russian President Vladimir Putin. There's a friendship, there's a closeness there. They've been kind of working together on deals for many, many years, and that's all going to come to light.
And obviously the timing, as we also discussed, the Russian meddling in the national election does not certainly seem to help a Tillerson candidacy here. Then what are you hearing? You mentioned the bipartisan concern about the confirmation hearing that we will see.
Yeah, you know, as of now, it looks like the confirmation hearing for Rex Tillerson may actually become a proxy battle for this broader Russia question. You know, you're going to have concerns about the Russian hacking, about whether the Trump administration is going to be tough enough against Russia. There's a national security advisor in Michael Flynn who also has a connection to Putin and Russia, and we may hear that come up in the confirmation hearings for Rex Tillerson. So I think those discussions are going to be about much more than just one nominee for the State Department, but about a broader concern about a new administration and Russia.
He is a president-elect who is always aware of the optics, it would seem. We saw a parade of celebrities marching through Trump Tower yesterday, the same day that he postponed a press conference in which he was said to be preparing to discuss his business ties and interests moving forward. Today, we see tech titans making their way to visit with the president-elect. How much of it is optics and how much of it is real?
Well, some of it is optics. I think him coming down to the lobby, the president-elect, to greet Kanye West in front of reporters was all about a photo op. Not much more to it than that. But the meeting with the tech leaders is real. I mean, there are serious issues to discuss. I think there's going to be, there's a feeling from the Trump administration at Silicon Valley that the tech community writ large was against him during the campaign. I think he wants to try to bring some of those leaders in, listen to them a little bit, and get them on board with aspects of his agenda. It's a huge industry and a big part of the way Americans live their lives. And I think Trump is hoping to have some synergy there, much the way Obama has had with the tech community.
I want to get you out of here on this one then and return to the question of Rex Tillerson. Here, quite simply, Philip, do you believe he will be confirmed?
I think he will be, but I think it's going to be very rocky and difficult, and I would not be surprised if he's not confirmed. But we're seeing people like John McCain, Marco Rubio, and Lindsey Graham leave themselves a little bit of wiggle room. Even though they voiced concerns about Rex Tillerson, there's room for them to get on board if they're satisfied with his performance in the confirmation hearings to come.
Philip Rucker of the Washington Post, one of the 4 bylines on a remarkable piece of reporting, to be sure. Phil, as always,
thank you, Josh.
We appreciate the time.
Bye.